Hello, and welcome to my slideshow, The Power of Hair in Media Presentation. How a killer look can make a killing in the office or kill the vibe entirely. Now, what am I talking about? Well, you see, this presentation will, hopefully, show my thoughts on hair and how the way it is styled can influence the media you consume. Maybe it will be entertaining too, who knows, I can never tell. I will bring you on a journey as we learn about the different styles and ideas that make characters that extra bit stylish to catch your attention. Now, why did I choose this? I decided for a few reasons. I don't know about other means to make this a long presentation, only 20 slides. I have enjoyed a variety of media and have learned a few things from the designs of these characters. I get to present a range of topics due to how wide entertainment media is nowadays. Now, how did media evolve? Well, when we were cavemen, we settled with drawing on walls. Then printing presses developed, and we could read books. We could perform acts using scripts, and we're watching movies on the big screens. Things really have progressed since the Stone Age. Now, how hair adds to your character's design. Well, let's have a look here. A character's looks can influence how someone sees them, the world, or their actions. Are they intimidating? Do they hold a suit of power or trust? The way they present themselves can immerse the audience and make the media that extra little bit more enjoyable. Have a look on the left here. Geralt of Rivia. I made a mistake there. A short, modern haircut wouldn't suit the setting and style of Geralt from The Witcher, as it is a fantasy series. Longer, more unique coloured hair adds to a sense of mystery and magic, tying into his eyes also being an unnatural yellow, befitting his occupation as a witch hunter, or any uh, any supernatural being. Hair, Miles, from the Ace Attorney series. Miles' elegant style is clashing with this unusual wig. His natural style on the right suits his role as a stickler to the law way better. Very crisp and professional. Unlike this. Big thumbs up. Now, what is this image, you may ask? Well, on the left, I have a very serious play, and on the right is a pantomime. Now, what are these? Well, one is serious and very morbid and dark, while the right is happy. That alone can really influence the designs. If Hamlet had hair like this, would you be able to take this series seriously? Or would it detract from the enjoyment? That is another key feature. Now, let's talk about this. The Oscars just happened. Many things happened. Oppenheimer, Barbie, the lot. So let's just talk about that for a little second there now. Here we have Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Princess Leia from Star Wars. Grease. Nicolas Cage. Cruella de Vil. Gerard Butler. Patrick Bateman. Now, they're all different. Some series are inspired by real events. Some things are set in space. But they all have hair. And they all present that differently. Cruella's black and white ensemble. Princess Leia's unique style. And then Nicolas Cage's long, luscious locks from being arrested in this film, Con Air. It all ties in. Now, let's talk about a certain specific genre, horror, and its correlation with design. Well, prepare to be spooked, because I'll be discussing one of my favorite genres. The importance of setting the tone, mood, and atmosphere is paramount, as otherwise the audience won't be scared or unsettled, making the film a silent, awkward affair. Having that good, key impression is key, as viewers will remember said character, so when they return later on, for be it a haunting, murdering a character, or just to build suspense popping up in the background, then there'll be something to add to it that's not your first time. It's almost like a Pavlov's bell response, as you see here, this little humorous image. hears a bell whenever he's given food, and bells become delicious. Question mark. If you just see Jason Voorhees for the first time when he's like dancing, it's not really surprising. But if you've built suspense, it can create a different reaction. So here we have Sadako from The Ring. Long hair covering the face. You can't see the face, it's a psychological aspect. You're confused, you're unsettled. The white long robe out in the middle of nowhere creates that ease, that unease. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what she's looking at, but she's coming for you. Here we have Freddy Krueger. Now, yes, he doesn't have hair, but he was burned, which adds to that world building. He no longer has hair. He's bald. All the burns, as you can see there, pretty graphic. Here we have Dracula, an unusual hairstyle, which immediately gets your attention. That's what he wants. He's playing a game with you. See, they're all different people, and they all have different reasons to do stuff, which is why getting the attention is very important. Pardon me. Now, I will discuss one of my favorite examples of a live-action adaptation. Netflix has really put out quite a few live actions recently. Some are very iffy, and then some, like here, are actually pretty enjoyable. One Piece. Here we see Sanji, Usopp, Luffy, Nami, and Zoro. Now, here is one of my key thoughts about this. The suspension of disbelief. Now, Luffy here can stretch like rubber. Thinking about this in a world with superpowers, the color of someone's hair can kind of has some free reign. Because if it was like something in real life, you can't see someone with green hair out of the middle of nowhere, unless they dyed it unnaturally. Which is leading to this. Zoro. The green hair it almost makes sense nowadays, because I've said they're fighting fish people. They're fighting corrupt officials with an accent. It's not exactly day-to-day life. So colored hair makes a little bit more sense. It doesn't detract from the experience. It just appeals to the character, what is green hair, like Sanji here. They obviously changed the eyebrows a little bit, but more or less, it's the exact same. Here, green hair. So, as the series develops, you see more and more unique characters, but that hair is still an enjoyable aspect, which is why it leads to the idea. I hope that made sense, because I'm not very good at phrasing. So here we see the ensemble now again. Green, brown hair, and orange. Green hair. Green hair. Now let's move on to another film. The Hangover. Much more realistic. Well, because it's just following a group of people on a night out, having a few drinks, no superpowers, nothing like that, unless from dealing with a tiger in the bathroom, but that's a different story. Here, we have the Wolf Pack, that is named our friend group. You have one on the left, with his beard and ruffled hair, showing his doesn't really care. And he's also the childish one, so acts like, a child doesn't like comb their hair or take care of themselves. In the center, Bradley Cooper being the confident and the person that they all look up to, he has his hair slicked back. He takes care of himself. Nice clothing. So they all has a separate style. Stuart on the right, the dentist and kind of scary one of the group, has it all neat and tidy, cut short, and it's his hair organized style contrasting with the others. And then it's just a baby in the center. It's wearing a hat. Pardon me. As you can see here, it is a unique setting. You wouldn't usually wake up next to a chicken. But still brown hair. Like if it's someone with green hair, it would kind of contrast. So it's still a unique setting, but it's a little bit more normal. Moving into the opposite now, where things get a little bit more breathtaking and over the top. Animation. In something like animation, the designers have freer reign, due to not having live actors to do these scenes. If they did, then the Mona would be a pretty difficult film, having to shapeshift all the time. It wouldn't be very practical. So, as it's just computer generated, or maybe mocapped, then they can do more stuff. Ballister Blackhair and the Mona on the left are contrasting one another's styles. One all in black armor and black hair, and the Mona in the right, visual hair. Ballister's black ensemble, contrasts to the Mona's unique style, fits the rebellious nature, but still they make a good team, because opposites can sometimes help. On the opposite side, the right, Yang Xiaolong from the animated series RWBY has hair that is on fire. Doing that in real life would be extremely difficult and would not be that safe for either the actor or anyone on set. So this is where animation really takes hold, because you can show off anything like this, like the superpowers in this series. It's based on storybooks. She is supposed to be Goldilocks. This would not be possible without CGI, but the risk by that is it doesn't really look good at times. At the bottom, and in between, we have the main characters from the Studio Trigger film Promare, showing the colourful aesthetic, one of my favourite styles in film, introducing the personalities. Here, straight away, you can see that they're not on best terms. They look like they're about to fight. So, you see Leo on the left being calculating elegant, with the little cravat and the hair being on neat. Meanwhile, Gallo, on the right, has his hair like a mohawk, and he's glaring because he's a determined firefighter against Leo. Now let's go into something that's a little more recent, people of like our generation. Games and interactive media have really become popular, and they get to take the roles of these characters that you see here. So, in order to gain attraction and set yourself from the competition, with all the events coming in nowadays, you really have to grab their attention and not let go. So, the looks can really help with that. You want to be curious, you don't know what's going to happen. Final Fantasy right here is a great example. You have Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, Cloud from Final Fantasy 7, Lightning from Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 13, and Wakka from Final Fantasy 10. They're all different and in different worlds, but they have different styles as well. Final Fantasy is really known for that kind of aesthetic. So, here we see Sol Badguy from Guilty Gear, a fighting game series. His leather jacket, his jeans, giant sword, and long hair contrast to the White Knight King Kai Kisk, with his shorter hair, elegant clothes, and knightly appearance. To go back to fighting games, you have Terry Bogard and his antagonist, Geese Howard. Again, long ponytail versus neat and tidy. They're opposite forces. Tying into this with the fighting games once more, you have Ryu from Streets. Short hair, prepared to fight at any moment. And his best friend, while also rival, Ken, the longer hair. Ken being from America and Ryu from Japan, the hair colors contrast to show their roots. Pardon me. So you have a little bit of world building as well to show they're from different places, because Street Fighter has characters from all around the world. So showing a little bit of culture here and there is really impressive. Tying into this with a little bit more realistic, while also fitting into like the out of bounds kind of aesthetic, is Kazuya Mishima from Tekken. Because he looks kind of serious. He has normal brown hair, normal blackish, I'd say. But then you see the back valve hook up, and then his eyes and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit in between. It's not as extreme as Sol Badguy, but it's not exactly as normal as Ken or Terry either. It's in between. And it gets a little bit more extreme when you see a character like this next to him, which is the key part of Tekken, in my opinion. So, let's go into a little mixing gaming with horror. This character is from a series called Killing Floor. And it leads into my next opinion on having no hair at times actually adds to the aesthetic, where hair wouldn't. As these are all made in a laboratory and are all monsters, having that completely smooth hair all everywhere adds to that like unsettlingness. Listen, they're coming for you, and they add a little bit of fear, which will fight them off. Going for a little bit more human, Kratos from God of War. Bald once more, with a nice strong beard here. The angles complementing the like masculine quote unquote nature. The leather, the muscles, the beard, the little bits of grey, showing he's like a mature, strong fighter. So even from a first impression, you could tell they're different. So, but they can work in different ways. Here is Taiga Saitama, the Yakuza series. The same person in both of these pictures, but one has way shorter hair, and it highlights into the different perspectives. A bit more free reign over here, the longer hair and the clothes, but clothes stay the same. But after a few changes, I will not spoil the series, he's a bit more like focused and disciplined with the shorter hair. So sometimes removing the hair or adding it where they never had some can make quite an effect as well. Show, don't say, in a way. And with all the live actions that happened recently, sometimes there will be flops. That's the way things go when you go out of the set original work. So there will be difficulties. If it was something basic, like a color change with the hair, it wouldn't be that hard. But basic changes to additions to length would be okay too, depending on what's going on. If it's a fighting series, it would have hair getting stuck, it might fall off and stuff like that. So it really depends. Wasn't it like a romance film where there's not that much movement? Would be easier to do something with. Here is an example I really do like. On the left, we see Jotaro Kujo from the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series, Part 3, Stardust Crusaders. Now, he looks a little bit unique, right? You notice his hat and his hair. It kind of blends in. Now, there's like artistic freedom, and that's just Araki's style. But if you have to change it to fit live action, real life, yeah, it's a bit difficult. You won't have that much shading, pardon me, or anything of the sort. So you have to compromise. So the reverse mohawk here, to wear the hat, and also having the hair from the back, is a compromise, but it's still not the best. So sometimes you have to make a few sacrifices if you're willing to adapt a media. It goes with the territory. To go with this, you have the unique character design of the Pokemon series. You can get a good idea of what's going on with some characters. The character on the left here, a gym leader, has black and white, conferring to the dark type. Light and dark, evil and good. The contrast really catches your eye. But to the right, Swordsbert and Shieldbert, having hair that resembles each version of the game, Sword and Shield, kind of like, it's unique and it's out there. But if you wouldn't really look, it doesn't really catch your eye because it's not as colorful. So you can have it be designed in separate ways. The left being like black and white, while the right having a more unique shape. Not everyone walks down the road with a head of hair that looks like a sword, but it's not exactly colorful. So there's two aspects there, like two sides of the same coin. So thank you for watching, and I hope this journey helped show how hair can make a big difference on people in media. Thank you very much, and goodbye.